Testing. Alright. Mic is working. Hello, everybody. I am Zach with FF1, and welcome to today's Forza Horizon 4 live stream. Today, I'm doing something unusual. I'm doing something special. Because I wanted to take a break from all the series that I'm doing, and I just wanted to do something solo, something that's not part of a bigger series, and something that's purely for enjoyment and more practice and just to have fun. And so I decided I wanted to do a full race. I haven't done a 100% race in a while because of how long they take. But I felt like doing one tonight, and I was like, what am I going to do for a full race? And then I thought back to the V10 era of F1, and I was like, oh, I've never done that before. I should do that. And I know I have this Ferrari Challenge Straydale here, and it's a closed wheel, closed cockpit car, so I know exact opposite of F1. But I felt that I wanted to use it because you could actually get the V10 in it. V10 puts out 1,200 horsepower. It's crazy. This car is really fast. This car is very violent. It's just as violent as any of the open wheelers. It's just closed cockpit, closed wheel. So I am sorry if that annoys any of you, but it's what I decided to go with. So, before we get into anything, I'm going to open the stream with a warm-up lap. We're doing this we're using the Goliath here, which I consider the Forza version of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And so, the European Grand Prix in 2003 was done at the Nürburgring GP circuit. I figured why not use Goliath since that's my Nürburgring. And obviously, I don't have a Forza version of the Nürburgring GP circuit because I think that's kind of boring, so why not do the entire Nordschleife? And the reason why I chose 2003 is because you can see in the top left corner the year that this car was manufactured was 2003. So that's why I'm going with that. I think the car in real life used in this year was the Ferrari FG 2003. Let me check. I think it might have been. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. It was just the Ferrari F2003 GA. So yeah, Ferrari F2003. Pretty cool car. Highly successful car. I've spent the last couple of hours on and off on Forza tuning this car. I built this car today. Put everything together for it today. So this is a brand new car. I've never raced it before. This is my first race with it. Even off camera, I've never raced it. So this should be interesting. Now, because of how long this circuit is, and also because of how not used I am to this car, I'm going to be driving with driving line and rewind just in case. I know it's noobish, but this is a long race, and I don't want to crash out early on. So, yeah. For difficulty settings, ABS off, steering simulation. They did have traction control back then. In 2003, but I'm not sure if I want to use it. I don't think the car really needs traction control. I've only tested it so far with traction control on though, so I think I'm going to keep the traction control on. Damage the tire, we're off, that on. Alright. Cool. And this is running a semi-automatic transmission. So all that's checked. Let's get right into this warm-up lap because this is gonna be a pretty long stream, probably in the area of 2 hours. So yeah, we should just get right into it. All right. I am going to be racing in the cockpit view. I like the cockpit view on this car. It seems to work best for me. So that's what I'm going with. You hear that V10. Not nearly as, you know, it's not the scream of the real V10s, but it's a V10. And that's what matters to me, at least. It's the most powerful F1 engine I've used yet. 1200 horsepower. As you can see, I'm definitely not as fast as the template car I'm racing. I'm definitely dusty around here, but I just want to. I'm just doing this warm-up lap to, you know, kind of make sure that I can get it around the circuit all right. Really loose. With the rear engine, rear wheel, most of the weight is in the rear, and so that makes the car pretty nervous. It's not a tight car at all. It's a very loose car, and that's something I'm not really used to. So it's gonna take a bit to learn for me. Oh, it just, I don't know what I did there. There should be a braking line there. This is crazy to drive. It's really violent on the throttle. It's really just, this is gonna be a relatively slow lap because I'm making a lot of like relatively minor mistakes, but they kind of add up. But this is an absolutely insane car. You know, the tires squealing there. I am just going crazy with the gears. Trying to just, I'm fighting the car to keep. Ooh, we got airborne a little there, but I'm fighting with the car basically to keep it stable, keep it tight, as tight as, you know, I can go. The car doesn't. The car wants to be really loose. Into the grass a little. Whoa! There should be a braking line through there. I managed to catch the car before it, you know, slid out of control, but even though I have the driving line on, the braking only driving line, I have to remember that, you know, the driving line isn't perfect, and so I can't put my full faith in it. I have to be there a lot of the time too to make needed corrections. Just barely missed it. Out onto the straightaway here as we head through Edinburgh. Holy shit, look at that speed. 235 miles per hour. That was an awful corner, but as you can see, the straight line speed of this car compared to The modern F1 cars I'm using in my series, they hit like 217 max. I can never really push it. You never push them above 215 in most races. You barely push them above 205 in most races. This happily, despite being a much more sluggish, heavier car than those modern ones, this happily gets up to 230 if you give it a straightaway. It's so loose. It's very loosey-goosey, as Daniel Ricciardo would say. Oh, look at that. It's loosey-goosey. Oh, that was bouncy. That was bouncy as hell over that curve, over this little bump right here. Right up here. The suspension just flew off of it. I should probably reduce the spring stiffness in the rear just a little. And I can also reduce the, I think I can reduce the toe in the tires. It's definitely challenging to keep it precise. God damn. You hit a bump, had no control because I was in the air. I am interested to see how we perform against the AI. I hope well. I think I can take 200 or 300 pounds off the rear for the spring stiffness. I think that'll be the magic number. 250 we'll go with. And then I feel like bringing back the toe will reduce the oversteer. I put a bunch of I put my tuning into this car to try and induce more oversteer and reduce understeer, but now I think I need to induce more understeer because it's so loose, and I really don't like. I am pretty awful in loose cars. Oh, we're about to fly up this hill. Let's see how fast we can hit. Easily getting into the area of 230 on a hill. I can only imagine going down this. I mean, this hill is the downhill at Monza, so I should try running this at Monza sometime. See what happens. It's a lot of fun to drive. You know, I might keep it the way it is, because I feel like if I mess with it and then don't practice with the tuning that I do, I feel like going into the race I'm just gonna get screwed, because I will have messed something with the car up without realizing it. Right now it feels good through here, but middle segment of the track, it's sketchy. Very sketchy. Did I run? Don't worry about that. I was just looking at my time, like a 9:25 probably. So yeah, relatively, definitely, definitely not one of the fastest cars to run Goliath. I've seen cars run Goliath in like 6 minutes, something like that. All right. Well, we finished our warm-up lap. I gotta do some math now to figure out. I think it's 192 miles that we have to do. 192. I got a water right next to me. This is gonna go pretty late into the night too. So in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna do a 24-hour race with some of my friends on Forza, and it's gonna be insane. And so I'm taking this to practice late night racing, but to also practice longer racing. And it's gonna be on the Goliath. So this is really a practice for that, but also having some F1 fun. Okay. That looks nice. That looks really nice. Let's see. ...2003 European Grand Prix. Let's see. Distance, 192 miles. Okay. 192 miles. I forgot how long. I think it's 24.9. No, it's not 24. It's 24 miles, something like that. Yeah, let's see. Ignore the Daytona 500 sign. 24.6. Yeah, close. So if one lap is 24.6, eight laps is what we have to do. 8 laps. So let me check the weather. Mostly cloudy. So, okay. And when did this race happen? June 29th, so summer. Give me a minute. I want to see if this is. It's daytime race, definitely. Yeah. All right. We'll go with early afternoon, cloudy, fixed. All right, 8 laps. Once again, ignore the Daytona 500. That's from something like oh shit. I'm so used to racing with the Bach mono that I put down Bach for some reason. The current car I'm in, retro supercars. Screw it, yeah, we'll go retro supercars. Alright. I'm going to check up on the stream one more time to make sure the audio is good. Alright, it's fine. No. Alright, difficulty settings. Unbeatable, custom, ABS off, steering simulation, traction control on, stability control off, manual, braking only, damage. Tire wear, no. Rewind on. My changes is I'm going to decrease that. What else should I do? I feel like I should bring that down. And 439. Well, I'll drop this to 1,000. I'll bring it down to 1,200 pounds on the rear. All right, that should reduce some of the oversteer. All right, we're good. So 8 laps of Goliath here for a 100% race on for the European Grand Prix 2003. I'm driving my closed wheel, closed cockpit recreation of the highly successful V10 powered Ferrari F2003 GA, which produces 1,200 brake horsepower through its V10 engine. So yeah, this should be pretty fun. I'm interested to see how this goes, and I'm interested to get some practice, some endurance practice in for a long race like this, and also some night racing practice in, so that I can help my body better adapt to racing at night, which will come in which will come in very handy in a couple of weeks when me and a group of friends do 24 hours of Goliath. All right. So I'm Zach with FF1. Let's get right into it. This is the 2003 European Grand Prix. And lights out and away we go. Everybody's checking up quite a lot. Lots of checking up going on. Everybody's all over the place. A lot of really aggressive driving from the AI. Already in a major battle for positions here. These guys are really going at it up here. Banging doors and all that. Trying to keep it together through here, trying not to crash and die. It's only the first lap. We got a long way to go, plenty of time to gain positions. Tire made contact with the dirt, lost some momentum through there. Whoa, everybody's crashing. Everybody just wiped out. We're up in the 3rd place already. Oh, we almost wiped out in the process here. Yeesh. I'm gonna rewind that a little. Everybody is gone. Everybody died. Rest in peace. The pack is already split up. And in not even a quarter of a lap, everybody is really away from each other. Or they're pack racing back there, but I'm really on my own in the middle. And then you have 1 and 2 way up ahead of me. This race is off to a definitely interesting start. Definitely an action-packed start. You have a long way to go. Sure, 8 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but then, you know, you realize that this is the Goliath. It's a 24-mile lap. And so, yeah, 8 laps on Goliath, that takes a while. That takes quite the amount of work and effort to get through. We made some contact with that fence back there. Definitely lost some momentum through there. Although we're fine right now. As of right now. I don't want to jinx myself, so knock on wood. Car feels much better. The suspension tuning and the tire tuning definitely helped reduce that excess oversteer and definitely tightened up the car a little. Makes it feel a little bit, makes me feel a little bit more confident as a driver with the tighter car. I know some people prefer loose cars, but I'm not one of those people. I don't know how you could prefer a loose car. That was the first time we went down into first gear in quite a while. We have quite a big gap between me and the rear pack, and I appear to be very slow through that roundabout, but I appear to ever so slightly be closing the gap between me and the front runners. Nearly drifted through there in an F1 car. That would have been interesting. And here we go, picking up speed. Picking up a lot of speed. Let's see if the 230, there we go. Let's see if this let's see if this car is reliable. I have an obvious straight line advantage over them. I'm running a much faster car than they are, and so definitely close the gap a little more on that straightaway there. Very fun race to start off with. Really fun so far. So he's really careful through here. Almost crashed through here on our warm-up lap. You don't want to do that here in the actual race, so just taking it nice and easy. I'm at a competitive pace, I'm at a gaining pace. I don't need to, I don't need to go too far. I need to go as far as I'm comfortable with. There's going to be a little bit of a bump up here. Remember, it's going to launch me a little. Well, not that much, but enough that it could throw me off. That was the bump right there, and I hit it at a slow enough speed that I didn't get any air, so I'm glad for that. Here we go, headed out onto another pretty long straightaway, so going to exploit our car's superior top speed. Going to exploit that really, really powerful Ferrari V10. Tremendously powerful engine. Suspension is bouncy as all hell. Kind of just drifted it through there. Did they both front runners just crashed? I'm up in the P1. Both of them went off through that right-hander. That's crazy. This really brings me back to the time I did 50 laps of Goliath. What a nightmare. I mean, it's a great race, but oh my god, I wanted to die at the end. I was so tired. just I'm in a slower car now. This definitely isn't as fast as the Bach Mono. Much more powerful than the Bach Mono. Has a much higher top speed than it. But, you know, the Bach Mono gets us to cornering speeds and durability. I just narrowly avoided colliding with that bridge. Here we go. We're going to go really fast up the hill. As I talked about on the warm-up lap, reverse this hill and you get Monza. You get the straight on Monza. So I really might do a future race similar to this, but at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. I've always loved this track. I always will love this track. You know, after doing 50 laps of this track, you definitely get used to it. But it is because of its length, the hardest part of this track is just learning it, really. Because there's so many turns to learn. There's so many things that you have to get correctly for a lap to go well. It really is like the Nordschleife. I think that's what they were. I think the devs of this game, I think that's what they were going for when they put together the Goliath originally in Forza Horizon 3. I think they wanted to go with that Nordschleife feel, where it's just this monster of a track. It's an intimidating track. It's a crazy fast track with everything, and it's a true test of a driver. It's a true test of a car, and that's why I really wanted to race here, not only to test myself, but I also wanted to test out this new car, because it's got your technical corners, your long straightaways, and it really shows you the performance of a car that you might be trying to test out much more than a smaller track would. And so that's another reason why I picked here. We are into lap 2 here. 2 of 8. We have a considerable lead. And I'm already kind of settling in here, only on the second lap. I'm already pretty used to the circuit, just getting used to the car, really. Ooh. Really redlined the shit out of it. Shifted down one too many gears. Although we're really picking up the pace through here now. Gotta be careful. One mistake through here and you go off into you run off straight into the green hell. That's what Jaggy Stewart calls this place. Or, well, that's what he calls the Nordschleife. I just unironically confused this place with the Nordschleife. I guess this is a green hell as well, at least this part of the track. You know, it's all forest, it's all trees and everything. Wow. You know, we're gonna rewind it a little. I just spent that was the longest time I've spent fighting a car. It took forever to actually crash finally. Because you go over that bump and you just completely lose it over the bump. Taking out a fence. Ooh. All right, there we go. Stabilized it. I honestly might use this car for 24 hours of Goliath, because I mean it's a nice car. It revs at a, you know, it tops out at 9,000 RPM, So that's a low enough that's a low enough rev that it could realistically probably go the entire 24 hours the engine without exploding. So I might use it. I'll have to see. You know, if only this engine went up to like 20,000 RPM, like the actual V10s from the V10 era, and then you get that scream instead of the roar. This is a pretty unpopular opinion, I think, but I actually like the roar better than the scream. I know a lot of people, I know that most F1 fans disagree with me, but I have always been a fan of the V8s, the roar of the V8s. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the modern V6s, but I don't think they're the worst things on earth. I think they're... I am more of a fan of the technical aspect than the aesthetic aspect of the sport, so, you know, they're a huge innovation in engines and powertrain development, and I'm all for that. I do understand that, you know, they would be cool if they revved higher. And honestly, I think if you... I think an easy solution would just be increase the revs on the V6s, and you could get them to sounding pretty similar probably to the V10s. I'm not sure how similar, but as long as you get up to that 20,000, into the area of 20,000 RPMs, you should have a pretty similar sound. I think around 15,000 RPM, that's when it starts to convert from a roar into a scream. The engine sound. Jesus, I can't believe I just recovered that. Car got really, really loose. Still a lot of tuning I can do. I feel like I could reduce the oversteer even more. God, the suspension just goes crazy through here. But this is where the suspension goes really crazy. Towards the end of this straightaway, the car starts to bounce like it has hydraulics, basically. It starts to bounce like a lowrider on hydraulics at 230 miles per hour. And it gets really loose like that. like that. You don't want to do that. It just gets so loose. And well, the thing about it is once it gets loose, there's like no recovering it. You counter steer, and then the oscillations just worsen. I think the best thing to do is to just let off through there. It's so bouncy. Yeah, so I guess letting off through there is the best thing to do because it prevents those oscillations. You don't hit the bumps at such a high speed. That's probably a lot of G-force up this hill because, you know, you're accelerating upwards and the angle of the hill, it's a pretty steep hill. It must be at least 4 Gs up the hill. I think the podium finishers in this race in real life was, Ralf Schumacher won. I think Juan Pablo Montoya took second, and I think Rubens Barrichello took third. So yeah, Michael Schumacher did not get, the win at this race, but he did dominate the 2003 season because, 2000 to 2004 was Ferrari's reign of dominance. Honestly, I'm more of a Rubens Barrichello fan than I am a Michael Schumacher fan. I've never been, I like Michael Schumacher, he's a good driver, but I don't know, I've never been the biggest fan. My favorite F1 driver ever is by far Niki Lauda. Definitely Niki Lauda. I've just never been the biggest fan of the V10 era. I know that many consider it, the greatest era in F1, the greatest cars in F1 history. I don't know. I personally think that 1965 to 1969 was the best era, the golden age, because the aerodynamics weren't introduced yet. I'm not that big of a fan. Of course, aerodynamics are with the power, with the low weight of these cars today. The aerodynamics are needed, but I'm a big fan of F1 before aerodynamics, the pre-aerodynamic era, where it's really the car is just a bucket with a bolted-on engine, and yeah. Cars are basically death traps. I think I think that was the coolest era in F1, and by far my favorite era. And I have so much respect for the drivers from that era for being as brave as they were to strap themselves into a death trap, into what is essentially a bathtub that goes out 200 miles per hour. I consider that crazy, but they did it, and they did it well. I'm also a big Jackie Ickx fan. He's one of my favorites as well. Jackie Ickx, Niki Lauda, Graham Hill. Just those classics. Of course, Jim Clark. I mean, I don't know much about Jim Clark. I'm not the biggest Jim Clark fan, but I have, he really was the god of that era. And I think he's by far one of the greatest ever. I think the greatest F1 driver ever is Niki Lauda because of his return from his injury, his endurance. He has this great tail. Because it's not making the best driver ever. In my opinion, it's not all about the driving. It's also what makes a good driver is them as a person. Alongside, you can be a great driver, but if you have no personality, if you're just a husk behind the wheel, just a robot driving, then I don't know. That's definitely not one of my favorites. But Niki Lauda, it's just the story, the face behind the wheel. The comeback from almost dying on the Nordschleife, almost burning to death on the Nordschleife, 6 weeks after, and then getting a P4 finish in his first return race back. And then at the end of the race, he's taking off his bandages from his hands and his head, and he's bleeding everywhere. And he struggled through that race, and he was scared to death. He was driving the same type of car that almost killed him 6 weeks earlier. And he drove like hell. Sure, he got P4, not a podium, close to a podium, but for a guy in his condition, with those burns and that traumatic fear of a car because the car almost killed you, he drove that thing like hell. He drove that thing like his life depended on it. God damn, I'm doing kind of bad through here this lap. Definitely keeping at a competitive pace. Stream looks a little, pretty low quality. It's pretty pixelated right now. Just give it a couple minutes. It'll sort itself out. It always does. I built up a very strong lead. Just trying to hold this position now. It is nice to drive something different. It's nice to drive something new. Whoa! I saved it! Oh my god. Oh my god. It's playing over the stream right now. Watch that. I fucking saved it. Holy shit. That was amazing. Just drifted it. Did a reverse entry with it and then just jerked the wheel to the right and it straightened out and stabilized itself. That was amazing. Although I definitely lost some pace because of it. Alright. About to get bouncy, so I'm going to regulate the throttle as I need to keep the oscillations to a minimum. Well, my friend had messaged me on Snapchat, and I really feel the need to read it, so I'm sorry. God damn it. All he sent me was a meme. Alright. Keep it nice and easy. Alright, up onto the hill. The famed hill. Alright, so we are in lap 4 now. We're already halfway through. Are you kidding me? You know, it's going to be a quicker race than I thought it would. I guess the car's faster than I thought it was. Although it was the real life length of the race, so I'm sticking with that. Airtime. Oh shit. I got a real competitor tailing me. He is hauling ass. Alright, I really gotta fight now. God. Okay. Well. I can't crash when it's most important not to crash, so. He is just hauling ass. He's so fast. Gonna pull away from him here. Or maybe not. He seems to be keeping up with us pretty well. Oh shit, I'm not gonna rewind that. Okay, so he got by us. I mean, we both kind of wrecked, but he got by us in the end. Oh, okay. Holy shit. As I drift through there. He manages to pull away again. He just crashed and managed to get right back up and pull away. God, it's okay. It's all good. We just got up. Oh, he died. He died through there. I knew he would. Well, he was having a good run. That's... Oh. A new challenger. You know, the race of a lifetime. And we get the overtake. Oh, he's carrying a lot more speed than us. We're gonna have to do some defensive maneuvers up here, probably. Whoa! A little bit too little braking on the hill. I did make a braking mistake on the hill, which enabled him to overtake. I think he's in the same car as me, just without a spoiler. Managed to get by just barely. That is great racing. That was a great battle. I almost want to let him overtake me so he can beat me. I have that much respect for that AI now because of that great battle. No, he'll probably overtake me again. Anyway, that's a good driving AI by Forza standards. He seems to be dropping back a little bit, although I may be underestimating him. Oh, car feels so good now. It feels awesome. We are over the halfway point on lap 5 of 8. Loosey goosey. What a blast. What a blast this is. Here we are in the green hell, my favorite part of the track. Actually, no, that's a lie. The final part, the second green hell, the final part of the track, that's definitely my favorite part. This is my second favorite. Least favorite, straightaway part, because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of boring. But yeah, the first and the last parts of the track, those are the awesome parts. The desert part is... The desert part is like, okay. I don't like it as much. Oh, it looks like P2 dropped back into the pack. So those two cars, they had their massive increase in pace, caught up, battled with them, but ultimately they weren't able to confidently overtake, and they weren't able to maintain P1. Ultimately, they lost their pace and dropped back. Whoa. Okay. I don't even feel tired. Whoa! I'm good, I'm good. Just lost it through there. into lap 6. Uh-oh, we have a new challenger. Alexa, set an alarm for 9:30 a.m.
Alarm set for 9:30 a.m. tomorrow.
I gotta wake up for like a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna go to sleep immediately after this. I don't feel like as tired as I thought I would. I'm definitely like I definitely feel a little more tired than I did a couple laps ago, and obviously that's only going to progressively get worse. Okay. But obviously that's going to, get worse as these laps go on. We only have not long left. Really not that. What am I doing? Oh, he's back. It's the car from earlier. Oh. He's back and ready for more. Alright, let's do this. Let's tango. It takes two to tango. Drifty. Oh God, that was awful. Oh, he's gonna get by. He's on my left here. Oh, no. Now he's on the right. Never mind, I could have sworn he was gonna get by. I don't know how he didn't get by. He had such a big opportunity to. I guess he just didn't have the pace. vital that I went through there well, and I did, so that's great. Alright, he got by because I messed up, but we're going to keep it going. We're going to catch him. Okay, well. What am I doing here? Please. Dude, why? Oh. Oh, and he flies off and dies. Alright, well, we're gonna retake first. P1 always dies there, that guy. Jesus Christ. Oh. Very sloppy lap. Oh no, God, I was looking back. Oh, dude! I can't rewind every corner, come on. Oh, I came so close to making it through. I just managed to hold him back by nothing, basically. Made a lot of mistakes this lap. so many mistakes. Alright, headed into the second to last lap here at the European Grand Prix. That's quite a lot of slide. Whoa. Alright, so the white flag is out, and we are on the last lap here at the European Grand Prix. last run through the green hell. Dude. Oh my god, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing through here. There we go. it's a glitched out AI. Woo! First. They run some fast laps. Alright, well, cool race. Wow, got a lot of money. Yeah, I'm gonna open I'm gonna do all my wheel spins here. I got a bunch of wheel spins to do. Yeah. Well, right, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that you enjoyed today's race. It was much quicker than I thought it'd be. It only came out to about an hour, 15 minutes. And I say only because, it was a 100% 100% length race, 192, almost 200 miles. I learned a lot about the car today. Car is fantastic. Very glad with the build. Very glad with the tune. I don't feel I need to make any changes to it. Maybe some minor tweaks, but nothing major at all. And besides that, it was just a blast. I mean, I'm tired now, but that was just fun. It was pure fun, and I had some really good battles with the AI. They were really competitive, and they were really fun to race. And the gray Saline and the yellow Ferrari that I was having battles with throughout the race, because every so often they would increase their pace and come up and fight me for P1. That was really fun. So I hope you enjoyed. Really satisfied with this race. Really happy with the car. Really happy with myself. Really happy with the stream. Hope you enjoyed. I'm Zach with FF1, and as always, I hope you have a nice day or night or whatever time it is for you as you're watching this. And as always, adios.